You are listening to Pivot Parenting, episode 195. Are you parenting from your values? Welcome to Pivot Parenting, the place where we recognize when your parental role needs to shift and how to do it. I'm your host and parenting expert, Heather Frazier. Hey there, how's your day going? Today we're going to talk about parenting and values because we all know what these are, but we don't really pay attention to if we're living them, how they interplay, and what kind of result we're getting through our actions, if it's in line with what we say is most important to us. And in my book, How I Fixed My Teen, this is actually how I start the book. Chapter 1 is called Let's Get Personal. And I share my values, what I love, and how I love to connect with people. Because to me, I don't want like B-list friendships. I don't know how else to say it. I want to know people and I want them to know me. And that's really valuable to me, like the deep connection that you get when you can read each other's expression. So what I want to ask you is, how well do you know yourself? What you like, what's important to you? That's easier. What's a little bit harder is, how do your words, thoughts, actions align with what you say is important to you? In How I Fixed My Teen, I share stories of aligning these two and how it helped me in my parenting. Of course, my book goes much farther in depth. In chapter 1, I also share a story about me and my sister cutting my mom's hair one day, doing her such a favor because we're so nice like that as teenage girls, and my mom's a saint. I also talk about that. But you definitely want to pre-order my book. It's coming out the beginning of 2024. But if you pre-order, you're going to get the audio for free. And I'm reading it. I'm going to do it when I'm not sick, like I am today. So my voice will sound better than it does right now. But the audio is free when you pre-order. And I'm going to mail it to you. So I want to draw a big heart and sign my name in the front of it. And you pre-order it by going to my website, heatherfrazier.com, or also on my Instagram or Facebook. There's a link to pre-order, and you can do that as well. Either way, you definitely need a copy. And if you follow me on social media, you are going to get an invite to my book launch. It's going to be really exciting and fun. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have hard copies. So if you just want to buy a hard copy there, I can sign it for you there as well. I'm hoping that will be in January, and it is going to be at the Riverwoods Mall in Provo, if you know where that is. It's right at the bottom of the Provo Canyon on University and Center Street. It's one of my favorite places to go, and I'm going to introduce you to one of my most favorite boutiques that I like to shop at. And it's really convenient to get baby shower gifts or gifts for my girlfriends or for myself, because they have really, really great stuff, this boutique that I love. And so you definitely want to come and party with me. So keep an eye on my social media. And of course, if you really don't want to miss it, you need to be on my email list. And if you pre-order the book, you can opt into my email list, or you can just go to heatherfrazier.com. It's at the bottom. You just put in your first name and your email, and then you'll for sure get that open house book launch party invitation right into your inbox so that you don't miss it. So let's get started. Today, this episode is brought to you by another one of my fantastic clients. We were talking, and it became very clear to me that she wasn't aligned in how she was spending her time. She was saying one thing, but doing another, which is no judgment or reflection on her. She's amazing. And this is really, really common. Her family is her top priority, quality time, helping them, nurturing them, having fun. But often she felt burnt out and overwhelmed in this desire. So she'd clean and organize or shop or hide in her room, reading or being on her phone. Essentially what she was saying and then how she was parenting didn't line up. My question for you is, do your values align with your actions? And it's okay if they don't. I think that that's more common than not. And I'm going to break it down for you. Everybody's values are going to be a little bit different, but typically this is what I hear. And so you can take these ideas as kind of a way to get started in creating your own values. You can take these ideas if you like them or come up with your own, but it might get your thoughts on the right track. Quality relationships, like with your teen or your spouse. Mental, physical, spiritual health. Nurturing your children. Self-development, your interests, passions, fun, learning. Successfully running a household, a career, a team of some kind. Contributing to the world in a broader way, like through volunteering or heading organizations or becoming politically involved in your local government or religion. So I invite you to write down what is most important to you. Those are just some ideas. You can take them or leave them. And then I want you to put those values in order from highest to lowest. Then, without changing what you do, because now you know what you value, so no cheating, I want you to monitor how you're spending your time. Seriously. How many hours are devoted to any specific activity that you're doing? And I want you to do this for a few days. I want you to capture some weekdays and some weekends because we tend to have different schedules. Maybe throw in some holidays, with the holidays coming up. See how they align. I want you to compare the two. This is really easy it's an easy way to see what our actions tell us that we value most. If they don't align with your written value list, that's okay. It's totally normal. This is just an indicator that you may need to look more closely at some hidden beliefs that are preventing you from living how you really want. If relationships with your teen are at the top, but you're constantly yelling or nagging them, let's ask why. Why are you sabotaging your relationship when that's what you say you value most? Spoiler alert, it's most likely that your nervous system is hijacking your brain with an unnecessary danger alarm. Because we have our values, and then we have perceived values of the society around us. And I just want you to know that every human is hardwired with the desire to fit in, to comply to social norms. It's a survival piece of our brain that we can never fully undo. And so when society tells us it's really important to have the picture perfect home or the picture perfect vacations, but that doesn't fit into our budget, or we have kids that really need a lot of things, or maybe we're just not into home decor or organization, whatever it is, but then we're trying to fit the social norm to fit in so that we're accepted because we're hardwired to want to do that. Do you see how easy it is to get a mismatch? It's wild how we all run around thinking that we're in control of ourselves, but actually our nervous systems have got us dialed in and they're kind of running the show. Now, there are 4 nervous system responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And typically, if we're feeling a little frantic or a little subdued, more than what is normal or functional, we are in one of these modes and our nervous system is actually running the show. So this is typically what's going on when what we say is most important to us does not align with how we are spending our time. Several years ago, I was first taught to recognize a dysregulated nervous system. I did an advanced trauma certification, and I also was working with a pain coach. And I realized that flight was my brain's favorite form of dysregulation. And I thought, just like being completely honest, I thought that it was just my personality. And when my pain coach said, this is not a personality trait, this is a dysregulated nervous system, as she had just spelled out all the symptoms of what flight looks like in real life, because up until that point, I just thought it meant like running from a bear is so much more than running from a bear or from somebody that we think is scary. I just sat and I cried because it clicked that I wasn't being who I wanted to be because my brain was perceiving that I wasn't enough on my own, that I needed to earn my value and my worth, and that I had to do that by running. Here's what was going on for me. I never felt like I could rest. I just had to go. Like in the evening, my family would all be relaxing, but I would still be doing laundry, dishes, getting stuff done because I didn't earn my rest yet. Running from one urgent thing to the next was like my hallmark. And it kind of gave me a dopamine hit too, right? Like getting a lot done does feel good, which feeling so good by accomplishing so much that I would die on my feet every night and fall into bed completely exhausted. No, sometimes we do this and it's not because we're dysregulated, it's just because we're having a really fun, productive day. But if we're honest with ourselves, we can feel the difference when we really pay attention to these are things that I wanted to do. Kind of like when you're on vacation and you're going and checking stuff out and it's fun versus when you're frantic and stressed and frazzled. Can you feel the distinction? And then also, I believe that I needed to manage everyone's emotions around me, that their problems were mine, and that I needed to solve for and fix. That's a really daunting task that a lot of moms take on. We need to keep our spouse happy. We need to keep our kids on track for grades and getting along with their friends and all of the things. And everybody has to like each other in the house and we have to manage all of it. Well, that's impossible. But we try because our nervous systems tells us that it's really important, that it could be life or death. But in all honesty, we are just actually meant to love, teach, mentor, and then all the people in our life, they get to manage their own problems because we can't do that for them. And so many things like this I was doing, and it made me look really nice, and it made me look like a highly efficient person. But it was my brain hijacking me, and it felt terrible. What I valued more than getting all the laundry done in one day was having fun and bonding with my kids. But when it was after dinner and they wanted to play a game or watch a show and I still had laundry to get to, I would put them off because laundry was urgent and I needed to have a clean house and I needed to get it all done because I certainly couldn't do it the next day because the next day had its own special list of things to do. When my husband would want to walk the dog, it needed to be after I'd gotten my to-do list down to a tolerable size. But honestly, does that ever actually happen, especially when you're keyed up? No, it does not. If you are like many of my clients and how I was myself several years ago, you don't even realize that you're not living your values because of the urgency that our nervous systems create. It really is wild. So my question is, are you shutting down, hiding, avoiding everyone and everything because you can't do it all, so why bother? That's a freeze response. Let me give you an example. Let's say a mom has 5 kids and they all need mom for something. And mom knows that she can't do what all 5 kids need to keep it fair. So she keeps it fair and does nothing for any of them. And she just hides in her room reading or online shopping. That is a freeze response. Are you faking it, doing things that you don't value as much as things you'd rather be doing, but you want to keep everyone happy? That's a fawn response. Fawn is people pleasing. It's not rocking the boat. And usually we put ourselves or somebody really close to us out to fawn. Let me give you an example. Your neighbor needs help with something that you said several days ago you would help with, but your teen just got home from school and they've had a really hard day and they're crying because their friends were rude to them. But you still go to the neighbors because you don't want to seem like a flake. But your gut is screaming that you should be home with your crying daughter. Do you freak out and yell at your spouse or teen when you're upset, even though you don't want to, but you just can't seem to help it? That's a fight response. An example of that would be, let's say your son is late for school and they didn't do their chores and now you're really upset and you're like, I need your room cleaned today. I need the dishes done today. And you didn't do it and you said you would. And you start getting upset and your husband tries to intervene to diffuse the situation. So then you pounce on him and start attacking him. And your brain is saying that he always takes your son's side, and so it's you against them. That's a fight response. Do you clean, rush around, get a million things done with a harried mood, but it's avoiding what actually needs to be done? Do you go get soda with your friends instead of making the therapy appointment or something else that's of higher priority but feels daunting and hard? This is flight. It's doing something avoidant over doing the harder but more relevant action. So an example of this is that mom is stressed with a dozen things to do before Christmas. The kids want to make cookies, but she hits Target instead. She can't slow down to enjoy time together because she's just got to run, even though the whole point of the holidays is to spend quality time with her kids. That's what she values most, but she's not doing it for some reason. So if any of this sounds familiar, and I know I'm typically in flight, like that's my default, but sometimes we can have a few defaults. Fawning is also a really common one for me. I think a lot of moms are taught to fawn, right? Because women are supposed to keep people happy and be the martyr. We're socialized in that regard. So here's my pivot for you this week. If any of this sounds at all familiar, and if it doesn't, you can still run through the exercise and it may still give you some insights or some validation that you really are doing a great job of living into your values. But I want you, again, write your values down in order. And you could just have one, you could have 10. There's no wrong or right answer. Put them down, order them into ranks of what is number 1, number 2, and so on. And then keep written track of how you spend your time. Now, if you're feeling unsuccessful, overburdened, confused, overwhelmed, buried over it, chances are good that your time spent doing whatever you're doing and your values, what you see as most important, are not in alignment. Because when the two are aligned, it doesn't matter how much you have to do. It can feel fulfilling, satisfying, like you're in flow, peaceful. You're not going to have as much noise and static in your brain, and it's not going to feel harried and like overwhelming. It's going to be like, yes, I'm on my way. We're doing the things. And I'll arrive when I arrive, and there's no hurry. So I want you to make a small adjustment each day to bring the two into better alignment. Just like a 1 to 10% increase. And I know that this sounds a little tricky, which is why I want you to reach out if you need help, because this will most likely involve some kind of nervous system regulation education. Of course, you can Google it. I also teach my clients several methods to regulate their nervous systems, ones that resonate and feel good to them, because I didn't realize that I was operating from flight a majority of the time. And my clients are usually doing the same. They're operating from a dysregulated nervous system most of the time. And this is because our society honors those who run around dysregulated, doing all the things, but it's not healthy or sustainable. And often it causes us to self-sabotage our parenting and our own happiness and what we actually value most. That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention today, to make you aware, because once we see things clearly, it's so much easier to understand and correct anything that we should choose to. My friend, I hope that you're having a wonderful holiday break. I really would love to see you at my book launch party if you are going to be in Utah County in the new year. Either way, you can definitely go onto my website and pre-order my book. I go into this with so much more detail and guidance for you to be where you want to be as a parent. I know that oftentimes it feels daunting and impossible, especially when our teenager is angry, wants nothing to do with us. We feel like things are too far gone. It is never too far gone. I have so many options to help you. Of course, there's my free podcast. I have a free Stop Arguing video series that you can watch. It's on my Instagram bio. I have my book. My book is only $12, and if you pre-order it, you get the audio for free. And I go into great lengths of identifying the 9 essential steps in order to correct the relationship that you have with your teenager so that it's exactly where you want it. I have my Family Connection Design course. It's only $179. That comes with weekly or monthly office hour calls that you can jump on. And then, of course, I take one-on-one clients, and you can check into that option if you would like on my website. You just click work with me. I ask you a few questions, and you can book a free consult call with me that we can talk about your goals and where you want to be with your child or children. And I coach on marriage all the time as well, because marriage is an intricate part of parenting. I coach on self-love because that is an intricate part of parenting. I talk about both of these in my book. I really want to be able to help you make 2024 your very best year. That is why I have so many different ways that we can work together, because I know that time and means vary greatly from different spots in our life to different parenting needs. And so I have free options. I have really simple consumable options like my course. And then I have the intense and very streamlined, get you where you want to go as efficiently as possible option of working together individually. You can check all of it out at my website, heatherfraser.com, and I invite you to do so, and I will talk to you next week, my friend.
Heather is the one, an expert in the field. She knows her parenting stuff, including how confusing it can be. You've tried it all, and it's a lost cause. Crying in the closet 'cause you failed at being a mom. But think again, there's peace around the corner and there's hope in your hands. Your kid just wants your love and you want it from them. So take a picture.